Hey, yo, what's happening, guys? Pugio Pop here, bringing back the vlog. But I'm gonna be doing a different video now. I'm not gonna be doing these crazy updates where I'm just standing in the back there talking, rambling for 5 minutes. I'm gonna do something more personal right now. Um, Basically, about a year and a half ago, I started collecting albums, specifically CDs. So you know how people they stock up on vinyl and they raise the price of vinyl? Well, that means that CDs go down. And CDs are really, really versatile. I actually think CDs are better than vinyl because they take up less space and they're cheaper. And there really isn't a whole lot of difference between them, I don't think. And I listen to both of them, so that's my hot take. But basically, I've been collecting these CDs for about a year and a half now. I don't have a lot of them. I stopped collecting, ever since the start of the new year. I haven't bought any new albums, but throughout these stacks that I have here, you could probably get a good idea of the kind of music that I listen to on a daily basis. And maybe 10 years down the line, if my music tastes change, I can look back at this video and be like, what the hell? Why did I listen to that shit? Anyways, um, okay, so first up, we got Linkin Park Minutes to Midnight. I remember when this album came out, I was like was it 11 years old? And then I listened to "Given Up" on the radio a lot when rock music was on the radio. Remember that time? Yeah. So I remember when this came out. I was a big fan of Hybrid Theory and Meteora, so this is a big treat. Um, Rest in peace, Chester Bennington, by the way. Also, you'll notice that I'm using my older webcam because I could not get the Kinect cam to work. This might be a longer video. I don't know. Because I have a lot of CDs here and I have a lot to say about them. Some more than others. Okay, I'm gonna have to block this out because he put his phone number on this. Okay, so this is a CD, a burnt CD that some guy was offering for $1. It's his own mixtape. He wrote the songs on here. So when I was just waiting for the bus, he came up to me and he was like, "Hey, do you want my CD?" I was like, "Oh, sure. What the hell? I'm collecting CDs, and who knows? Maybe it's straight fire. Who knows?" And yeah, it is pretty good. It's not straight fire, but it is pretty good. It's competent. I really like it, and so I'm gonna keep it for however long. Maybe yeah. So basically, the rapper's name is Killuminati. Maybe you can find him online or something. I haven't tried to find him, but yeah. So that's basically it. All right. So here's the Get Up Kids. Funny story about this. In high school, we had a vocabulary lesson, like a videotape lesson thing called Quack. You can actually find it online. If you look for Quack vocab, you'll see the intro song, and the intro song is actually 10 minutes to downtown from this album. 10 minutes to downtown. Yeah, and for the longest time, I didn't even know that it was an emo band, right? So I went back to it a long time, after a long time, and I listened to Holiday, and I was like, wow, this is a really good band, emo band specifically. It kind of reminds me of like Jimmy Eat World, Sunny Day Real Estate, that kind of stuff. So if you're into like emo, like or indie progressive rock kind of thing, definitely check this out. It's a good one. Okay, now we're getting into like nostalgic territory. I bought this purely on the nostalgia factor. This is System of a Down. I actually have the other one. Yeah, here we go. Funny story about this album is that it was originally going to be one huge long ass album, Hypnotize and Mesmerize, but they split it into two because they didn't want to have one long ass album. Just putting that out there. Also, with these fold cases, you can actually put them together. I can't do it right now because I'm holding the snowball. You could see, but yeah, so it's really cool. You can actually put them together. It's a nice little display piece. And they feel really good, like the display case. I actually remember buying this at Borders. Remember Borders, the bookstore that spent too much on CDs, and they end up going bankrupt. Yeah, so I actually bought these when they came out in 2006, and then I lost them because I was a dumb kid. But then I bought them recently, brand new, and it's just really really good. All the songs on these are just bangers after banger. Um, it's kind of sad that they split up, but they're doing their own thing now, and PB and J. You know what I mean? I'm sorry. Peanut butter and chocolate are good together, but they're also good separate. So it's not really a big loss. It's still good stuff. If you go listen to their singles, their solo stuff, that's really good stuff. Here's an album that it's kind of like a short album, and it's kind of an old album. It's really really old. It's like 50 years old or something. I got the remastered version because it's kind of rare. The reason why I got this album was because the songs on this are kind of blocked by YouTube. It's kind of like a weird copyright limbo. This is the King Crimson, Court of the Crimson King. Um, it's really really good. I love the long form songs on this. It's not like a 4 minute song. It's like a 10 minute song, and there's like several 10 minute songs on the thing, and it's kind of like an epic journey. I really do love the sound of this. It's really progressive. You wouldn't really be able to tell it was from like the 60s, right? It sounds like a 80s or 90s thing. So, all right, moving on. We got Iron Maiden, Number of the Beast. I love this particular release because of the fact that if you put it into your CD, there's like an exe file that has a bunch of QuickTime functionality. So you could really tell this is like an old thing. I could not get it to work properly on modern systems. But basically it's just it's like a QuickTime thing where it has has a bunch of links and a bunch of point and click things where you can get lots of extras. I was trying to reverse engineer it so that I could just get the extras without having to go through the through the interface. But yeah, this is a really good. Like, I love how this looks. Like, the Iron Maiden albums covers are some of the greatest I've ever seen. And this one looks like the detail on the print is just exquisite. If you have time to check this out, definitely check it out. My favorite one probably has to be "Hallowed Be Thy Name." It's really really epic. So that's that. Okay, speaking of Hybrid Theory, bam. Not much to say about this. It's a solid, like an 8 out of 10 album from beginning to start. There isn't a bad song on this, right? That's the cool thing about early Linkin Park. There's not a single bad song. I would never skip any song on this album. And it's also really nostalgic. Like looking at this picture, I remember looking at this picture when I was like 6 years old, looking at that. Man, it's just really cool. I think my favorite song on this track has to be. What would it be? I don't know. I mean, they're all really good. I guess "In the End" is really good. Oh, "By Myself." Definitely "By Myself" is the best one because I really like the record scratching, like "By myself," but that's why I put on my mind to find I can't rely on myself. Okay, here's a weird one. This is really weird. I don't know if any of you know about this. I got it just because of Guns N' Roses, right? Because I was on like an early rock binge, right? This is not like a normal release. This is the Spaghetti Incident. Really fucking weird, but I haven't listened to all of it. But basically, it's just a bunch of covers by different people. And funny thing about this, there was a controversy because there was a hidden track, which was a cover of the Charles Manson song "Look at Your Game Girl," and I think that's really funny, but people didn't like it. I would have laughed my ass off if I heard that back in the day. So, all right, next thing, Green Day, "American Idiot." Jesus of Suburbia is one of the greatest punk rock songs of all time. Uh, Holiday's really good. Boulevard Broken Dreams still a great song. American Idiot. Um, I mean, just a lot of really great. Wake Me Up When September Ends. I mean, I just love this album. It's just really really good. It's not as good. Like I don't remember songs like Give Me Novocaine. I don't remember what that song is. But yeah, it is. It's like a solid like high six to a light seven. Definitely worth checking out. Um, okay, so we got System of a Down. This is going to the territory that's before my time. I just got it because it's System of a Down, and I listened to, you know, Hypnotize and Mesmerize as a kid, and so I just got this. I've listened to songs like Prison Song, Chop Suey, let's see, Toxicity, and Aerials. Those are the only songs I know off this track. I haven't listened to the entire thing. One thing you'll notice about all these tracks is that I've just collected them, and I haven't really listened to all of them. But definitely, I would expect it's like a really quality album. I think it is like considered one of the best, out of their discography, from what I know. Okay, Breaking Benjamin, Phobia, really really good. When I think of Breaking Benjamin, I break them down to different eras. So the very first era is the poly no, what's it called? Saturation and what's it called? The one with the guy. He's like holding his hand like this. It's like uh something. We're Not Alone. I think it's called. I think that's the name of the album. We're Not Alone. So that's one era. That's the early era. Then you have the golden era, which is Phobia and Dear Agony, and then you have the new era, which is uh fuck, what was it? Dark Before Dawn, and then Embers. So I break it down into like three different eras, and that's how I think of Breaking Benjamin. Like three distinct sounds. This is in like the golden era. This is a lot of fucking great tracks on this. So like Diary of Jane, Breathe, You, Evil Ain't, like all these songs are just really good. Topless, Dance with the Devil. I don't know about Here We Are and Unknown Soldier. Had Enough is great. I don't think I've heard You Fight Me. But yeah, like all those I bet all those songs are really good, even the ones I haven't listened to. Um, Breaking Benjamin has just been really consistent throughout all their things. They had a really good sound for a very long time. That's very hard to do. Okay, so here's a weird thing. I'm actually gonna put that off to the side. Okay, moving on. We got Evanescence, Fallen, classic album for emos and goth people alike. It's just whenever people think of like edgy early 2000s rock, gothic rock, they think of like Evanescence, Fallen. Like this image is so infamous. It was used in an anime called Ergo Proxy. Like they just straight up ripped off this face. And let's see, what are some of Going Under is great. Bring Me to Life is great. Everybody's Fool, My Immortal, Haunted, Tourniquet, Imaginary. I haven't heard Taking Over Me. Oh yeah, so yeah, just really good album overall. Um, Definitely check that out when if you even if you haven't listened to it, even if there's no nostalgia factor. I mean, Evanescence has had such a like an influence over rock um, for years to come. Yeah. Okay. So if you know anything about emo, you know that um, a lot of bands that consider themselves emo are not actually emo. My Chemical Romance is not emo. The Used is not emo. Sleeping with Sirens, All Time Low, uh, Escape the Fate. All these bands that people think are emo, they're not actually emo. Want to know what's actually emo? Like the actual definitive emo barometer? It's this. Sunny Day Real Estate Diary. This is if you hear the emo sound, you know that it came from this. this was really revolutionary in that scene, and people consider it to be one of the greatest emo, albums of all time. Hawthorne Heights, uh, Jimmy Eat World. Uh, God, I'm blanking right now. What's the name of that? The Get Up Kids. They all came from this, right? This was monumental in making that sound popular. Of course, you have sounds before that, like Rites of Spring and The Promise Ring, that had that sound, but this definitely this made it widespread. So, okay, moving on. We got a lot to go through, and okay, I've been talking for 15 minutes. Fuck. Okay. All right. Anyways, Hands Like Houses. Great album. I don't like the release of this. Like, this is like a modern release where it's like, look at that. They don't even have like a booklet. They have all the lyrics printed on the side right there in like small little. You can't even read it. But I love this album so much. Oh yeah, and also there's no album art on the album itself. It's just blank. Yeah, definitely disappointed with this. Like when I ordered it, I thought it was gonna come with some cool stuff, but no, it's like really minimalistic, just a trifold cover. But I do like the artwork on the front. You got like a guy right there. He's in another area in the back, and then you have him during like a stormy nighttime scenario, right there. Let's see. Let's check out the songs that I really like on this. Antarctica's good. 100's good. What's that one where it's like... Maybe that is Antarctica. It's the one where it's like, little boys with dreams of paper planes were never meant to scrape the sky. Keep your feet on the ground, kid. Only birds are meant to fly. I'm more familiar with Hands Like Houses, their newer stuff. Like Shapeshifter. What's that one called? Something. I don't know. Anyways, yeah, Hands Like Houses. It's really really good. Oh, I also like the song called I Am. It's good stuff. All right. Okay, so here's something special. This is the album that started my whole collection. I was going with my mom to go see Dark Phoenix in theaters, and there was a gap between when it was airing and the time it was. So we decided to go across the street to a mom and pop, like used DVD, CDs, place, storefront, and I got this. Jimmy Eat World Futures. The only exposure that I had to this album before buying it was the song called Just Tonight. I listened to that song. It was really really good. It had a good catchy chorus. The entire time he's just like really, never be the same, never feel this way again. Like he's very mellow about it. You could tell. There's not a lot of like screaming. There's not a lot of energetic energy towards it, and that's really the emo sound that I really like. Where it's like, I'm so down. If you look at bands like Sleeping with Sirens, you could tell that they're not emo because they scream and they shout and they're energetic, and they're obviously not depressed. They don't embody that sound. Okay, and what's really cool about this album is that it has a thing. If you put it into your CD drive, if you have a CD drive, if you put it in your CD drive, basically it will link you to a web page or an HTML file, and then that will link you to a dead link, right? From my understanding, it linked you to a bunch of demos back in the day, and there's actually a Wayback Machine link that shows you what was on that, but this is basically useless. Like the CD functionality in your PC is not really working anymore. But yeah, so I got this in the mom and pop shop for like $3. It was a steal. I just love the cover. I really do dig like these paper covers. I don't like the jewel cases as much. I like the paper ones because you're able to put more detail. They look a lot better. Um, yeah, it's just really good stuff. Okay, moving on. The starting line, based on a true story. I walked into a store called the Exchange, um, and they had this album playing, and it was on the song called The B List. It is so good. Like if you listen to the B List, it has such a great catchy. I wouldn't consider this like people would consider this emo, but I would not really consider it because of how in your face they are about the stuff. And like here's a song. You can see. I don't think it's on this one, but there's a song where it's like, I'm gonna tear your ass up like we just got married and you're all mine now. Sorry, I can't sing. Yeah, but it's like you would never hear those lyrics in like a um in an emo song. So I don't know why people consider this, but yeah. So the B List, definitely check that out. Um, I don't. I think I got the wrong album because when I heard it and they told me that it was by the Starting Line, I was like, huh, that kind of sounds familiar. The Starting Line? What? Where have I heard that before? And I heard them in a song I think called uh, "Gone I'm so alone, the worst is over." Oh yeah, it's called "The Best of Me." You can have the best of me, but it's not on this album. It's on a different album. I think the previous one it's on. And I like this early 2000s like punk rock aesthetic. I love it. I can't get enough of it actually. In fact, it's a problem because the more I look back towards like the early 2000s, the less and less I'm looking forward, and I'm kind of getting out of touch with my similar age peers. They're all up on hip hop and hippity hop and pop and rap, and while I'm looking at like guitar heavy guitars and shit, and melodic sounds and poetry and shit. So I'm kind of distancing myself from that, and it's kind of hurting my social standing. But enough of that. That's a rant for another day. Anyways, okay, Avenged Sevenfold. I haven't listened to much of this album, but what I have listened to, really good stuff. Um, it's live in the LBC and Diamonds in the Rough. I got it based solely on the cover art alone. I mean, look, that looks like a Iron Maiden cover right there. That looks incredible. I mean, I just got it for that, and it turns out that some of the songs are actually pretty damn good. Um, of course, it's a live performance, so it doesn't sound as good as a studio, but I think it has like a very genuine quality to it. It's the only live album that I have, so that's a thing to consider. Um, Interpol Antics. I have to go pick up, the Bright Light, which is the previous album, has all the good stuff on it, like PDA and Obstacle One. But I bought this because it has Evil, it has Slow Hands, Khmer. It has all the good stuff. And the weird thing about this is that if you put it into a lot of weird things. So basically, if you have any of these CDs, definitely put them into your CD on your computer to check and see if there's any cool files on there. There's video files for heavily compressed music videos, and I'm pretty sure that back in the day that would be the only way that you could watch those music videos on demand. You couldn't go on Yahoo Music Video and check them out. I don't think. And especially when YouTube became popular with musicians, it took until like 2018 until they finally put up all of their music videos. All right. Oh yes, I love this so much. Okay, here's a day to remember for those who have hearts. I love this. Just look at that. That's like a gold foil right there, and it has a nice paper slip cover. Um, That is just indescribable. I don't even know what to think about that. But I love a lot of the tracks on this. Like You Should Have Killed Me When You Had the Chance, The Danger in Starting a Fire, Plot to Bomb the Panhandle, Monument. Just a lot of bangers on this track. I love it so much. Um, it's definitely not emo. I'd class it more in like post-hardcore, but even post-hardcore, I love that stuff. I love the contrast between the clean vocals and then the unclean vocals. Just like one moment he's like, ya na 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 ya, and then the next one's like, it's like channeling the demon inside of him or something. I don't know. I just love that kind of music. It's like really popular in some cult circles, and there's a lot of people who like that kind of music just like me. So I guess I can relate with that. Okay, I'm gonna leave this one. This one's really special. I'm gonna leave that one off to the side. Jimmy Eat World Clarity. I have not listened to a lot of this track, but Lucky Denver Mint is a really catchy song. I love it. It's like, you're not bigger than this. Not why. What is? Yeah. Why can't you learn? And Clarity's a good song. I wanted to get the song where it's like it's the early demo version of Sweetness, but I couldn't find it anywhere because this is not the deluxe album. It only comes on the deluxe CD. Fuck this. Okay, this thing's okay. All right then. Don't stack them up like that, you idiot. All right. Okay. Breaking Benjamin, Dear Agony. Like I said, this is in the golden age of Breaking Benjamin. When this came out, people thought that Breaking Benjamin was done because they took like a 5-year hiatus after this. But I feel like if they did end on this, they would have gone down as one of the greatest rock bands of all time. Like, this is just on next level. Every song is just banger after banger after banger. I mean, I'm looking at the back of this, I can't find a single bad song. And, this is the one with, I Will Not Bow, Dear Agony, Anthem of the Angels, Without You, What Lies Beneath. I love What Lies Beneath. Such a great atmosphere for that. Okay, here is an emo album that I came across when I was researching emo albums. This one is pretty damn weird when you think about it. It's called Armor for Sleep. I mean, there's so many good songs on this, but that's not even the best part. The best part about this is a little booklet you get. The name of the album is called What to Do When You Are Dead. So you can kind of guess what the pamphlet is going to be telling you. What to do when you're dead. And there's like, it's really funny. I'm really glad that I got, so it has like, those little pamphlets you'd get, and in like a waiting room. It has that kind of aesthetic to it. I mean, this is like really interesting. It's like, avoid direct sunlight, you will disappear and not be able to move. I mean, it has such great style to it. Let me put this back in here. And yeah, so if you're looking, if you're looking to get into this, let's see. Car Underwater is good. The Truth About Heaven is probably my favorite song. The song that got me into this band. It has almost like an anime feel to it. Like I could imagine The Truth About Heaven being on like an anime opening shit, like that. And then Basement Ghost Singing. I think that's the one where it's like, I sang a song to you through the floor to reach you upstairs. Thought I heard you call out for more. I know it's crazy. Yeah, it's good. So definitely check that out. The next two albums are sometimes classed as emo, but I would not class this as emo. I would class this more as like progressive rock. Okay, so I got these two for like $10, so like $5 a piece, and I just cannot get enough of these. I mean, Circus Survive. I'm listening to this band right now, and I'm on Blue Sky Noise, which is the third album. I mean, it just has a great, has a really, really good sound to it. Uh, I like the atmosphere, the very slow atmosphere. It's not in your face. It's really droning. It's airy. It's like, don't be. No, I can't do it. But yeah, so he spaces out a lot of stuff. He's very slow, methodical. I really do love Anthony Green. He did an EP for Sausen, which is another band I like. Sausen got a new yeah. So he Anthony Green was only there for like one album, and then another guy came over, I think called Cove Weber. He's good too, but I like Anthony Green better. Okay, so Juturna. I also love the slipcovers on these. I mean, I can't get enough of slipcovers. If there is an album that I know has a slipcover, I won't buy it until I have the slipcover. I love this like gothic art style, and I really feel like these are like Circus Survive is like really slept on. I mean, look at that. That looks beautiful. I mean, that just looks fucking incredible. Let me just see here. Oh shit! All right. I mean, look at the album art right there. What the hell is that thing? I don't even know what that is. It's like a fleshy monstrosity. I mean, just amazing. Props to the person who did this. I think I have to go look up who the artist is. I don't know the artist of the album covers, but they basically they rival the Iron Maiden ones in how good they are. All right, and then we have on Letting Go, Circus Survive. I actually placed a bid right now on eBay for Blue Sky Noise, so I'm gonna have three of them. Whenever I go through a band, I usually like to go through them methodically before I invest money um in their product. Yeah, so definitely these are great. I mean, song wise, Act Appalled is great, and Fear and Faith, Stop the Fucking Car, is good. Meet Me in Montauk, and then we have The Greatest Lie. The difference between medicine and poison is the dose. Um, on Letting Go, yeah, definitely no. Check those out when you get the chance, man. I mean, they're like an experience. You have to be ready for it. You have to be like, okay, I'm in this for the long haul, and just like let yourself go, let yourself experience Circa Survive. It is just one of my favorite bands of all time. Okay, so going on to the ones that I put off to the side to wrap up this. This is like a really long ass video. I mean, I had a lot to say about this. I can ramble on for a fucking hour if I'm allowed to. So we've got Introducing the New Ordinary. This band was a mystery to me for a very long time. It's called Vote for Noah, and apparently it is a local indie rock band from Chicago that only did this album. They only did this one, and then they kind of disbanded. And there's a bunch of contact info and like addresses that lead to nowhere now. But I don't think that phone number did anything back in the day because it's a 555 number. Um, it's so weird. It looks like a screenshot from like an infomercial, like 1999 to buy the Naughty Schoolboy or whatever. Bedside aphrodisiac musical nightlight. I mean that's just really fucking weird. So I got this based on the weird factor alone. I got this alongside Jimmy Eat World. So this was one of the first two albums that I ever bought, and I love this. I mean, it's nowhere on the internet. You could not find this on the internet, and I don't even know if I'm allowed to dump it and post it on the internet even. I mean, it's really bizarre how there's no information about this at all. Um, I just love mysteries like that. The only thing that I could find was an Amazon listing for this album, and there's like a few in stock, which is also kind of weird to me. But it's really interesting when I can come across something like this that nobody knows about. That I'm probably one of the only few people who's ever touched this. Um, and it's also really good music too. I mean, it's really competent. competent put together. It has that like very amateurish feel to it, where it's like garage, like recorded in a freaking garage. It's not like a professional studio sounding like a clean sounding thing. It definitely has a very rough sound to it, but I love that. I love it so much because it gives it authenticity. It's not like with a studio album you can redo it as many times as you want. You can mess with the levels and all that to make sure it sounds perfect. This is where it's at. I love it. Okay, and then we got Nirvana Unplugged in New York. The only Nirvana album that I have. I got it at a yard sale. I haven't listened to it at all, really. Come As You Are is a good one. Polly is a good one. It doesn't have Teen Spirit or Heart Shaped Box on this. And those are like the two biggest songs by Nirvana. Does it have... What's that one? No. It doesn't have Lithium. That's weird. I wonder if this was done... I don't know the release album. I think they only had 2 albums, Nirvana. But they made such a huge impact. That's just weird. Okay. Now this one's something very special. I saved this for the very last. This is the... crap. Oh, shoot. Okay, 1 second, folks. Well, I guess that's kind of serendipitous, because now... Okay. Alright. I gotta be, take better care of this. This is the Led Zeppelin discography. I haven't listened... No, thing is, I haven't listened to a lot of Led Zeppelin. The only Led Zeppelin songs I've ever listened to was 3 of them. Kashmir, Stairway to Heaven, and Achilles' Last Stand. Out of those 3 songs, Achilles' Last Stand is probably my favorite, which is a controversial take, apparently. Like, it's either Stairway to Heaven or bust, in the eyes of fans. But I think Achilles' Last Stand has a lot to offer. I love the riffs. I love the melody. It's just really good. Yeah, so basically what comes in this, if you buy it retail, it's like $80 or something. It has all, the entire discography of Led Zeppelin on it. But yeah, so they come in like these little booklet things, like hardcover booklets. Really nice quality. I should get around to listening to all this, like, spend like just 1 full day listening to every single one and then upload a whole analysis of the entire discography. I mean, yeah, it's really nice looking. I could do a whole, like, look at that. And, in every single one of these is 2 albums, right? So if you open it up, yeah, it has, looks like that. Shit. God, I wish I had better control over this. Yeah. So I think I paid like $10 or $20 for this. So that was a nice steal. At a yard sale. And even the person who was selling it to me didn't want to get rid of it. But I wish I had more to say about this. Other than that, I think Stairway to Heaven is overrated from what I've heard. It's not this absolute masterpiece. And I feel like I'm going to get a lot of downvotes for that. But who cares? Yeah, so that's my whole album collection. I might make an addendum if I start collecting again. I know that I'm going to get that Blue Sky Noise by Circus Survive, so that I can have, the trilogy of like the classic Circus Survive albums. And I might get more of them because all of them look really good. Like, all of them look, they all have a slipcover and they all have really good art on the cover. And I might just get them just for the art alone. But I really just want to listen to them before I purchase them, because that's usually, if you purchase it and you don't like the sound, it's just going to collect dust. So that's mainly, that's all of it. All right, thank you for stopping by. I might actually do a collection, like other collection videos, because I have like, video game collections, I have console collections, I have Yu-Gi-Oh collections. I mean, I collect a lot of shit that I probably shouldn't. That grown man shouldn't. But that's all. I guess I'll see you later. Peace.